And Superintendent of the Faribault Public Schools, Todd Sesker, is our guest. Certainly appreciate him stopping by. You've been very busy lately, Todd.
Yeah, it has been a pretty busy week and actually a pretty busy month.
Yeah. A couple days ago, we had the, of course, school board meeting.
Yes.
Or actually, it was last night because Monday was President's Day.
Yeah.
In fact, I was thrown off by that. I went out to the middle school Monday night thinking it was Monday night, and it was kind of neat, though, to stop out there and see the place just bustling with activity. All those kids out there, the sixth grade basketball team, they had a volleyball team practicing. It was just awesome.
It is, and that's, of all the ages that I've ever taught, that's my most fun age to be around. And in our middle school, just like the high school, it's busy. And there are a lot of people around, a lot of parents around. It's a fun place to be.
And I love to see the facilities used. You know, sometimes they seem to be dormant in the summer. It'd be kind of neat to get them used in the summer, too.
It is, and we are actually going to do our STEAM program in the middle school. We did that last year, and we're going to do it again this year. It worked out great. Along with Roosevelt, we have our summer STEAM program. So we get a lot of use out of those facilities and buildings.
Explain the STEAM program, if you would.
Sure. The summer STEAM program is a 6-week program. Our idea, we've talked about extended school year and making the year-long school year, which has some good effects. We lose that summer slide that kids end up with where they forget some of the academic stuff and they don't remember it until next year. Then we have to review. The idea of a summer STEAM is that we have a group of students, and actually we had about 350 students last year, that we've identified that are eligible to get into this really cool program. We've also included other students, but we want to make sure we fill in the seats with the students that we know need some help with some of the remediation. But it's not really remediation. It's a core academic program in the morning, and then it's an enrichment program in the afternoon. And STEAM stands for Science, Technology, Education, Arts, and Mathematics. So all those components are integrated into those enrichment activities after school. So the kids have a great time. Our attendance rate was terrific last year for 6 weeks for kids to come in the summer. It's for grades 1 through 8, and I'm hoping we get about 100 more kids this summer, and it's free. And that's pretty cool. So we're able to generate funds for this program and without putting any sort of dent into our general fund balance, and it's been just terrific.
You're talking about businesses donating or something? How is it funded?
Yeah, well, the levy funded $150,000 of it, so that part of it is. But we also have other places where we can get funding. Part of it's called targeted services. There's just state funding that helps us offset some of the costs that we have incurred in there. Plus, we get volunteers. We had 3 administrative volunteers last year, which was terrific. Administrators doing this is kind of an internship program, but we didn't pay them, and they're high-quality interns. They have their license already, and it worked terrific. And we get volunteers from students, from St. Olaf and Carleton, and we also pay folks, too, for this. The core subjects, we actually have certified teachers in there, so we're paying them their rate, too.
So they're all the basic, you said core subjects?
Yeah, so actually it's 3 of them. It's reading, math, and science. And then in the afternoon, we enrich with those 3 subjects, and we use the arts and physical education and music to help enhance those programs.
So I couldn't take a foreign language, for example?
No, not yet. We haven't done that one.
Because I was thinking, because I took foreign language when I was in school, and if you don't use it, you lose it pretty much.
Right.
So when you end the school in the spring and you come back in the fall and you didn't use it all summer, you know how that goes.
Yeah, and we do offer other programs in the summer at the high school for credit. I don't know if we have I don't think we have a language summer program, but in order for us to offer languages throughout the year, we've got to and a lot of good student volunteers.
You're getting a lot of feedback on this?
We have. We've done it for 2 years now. We're actually, Anne-Marie Leland and Margaret Gare are the 2 leaders of this. Margaret teaches she's the admin at the ALC, and Anne-Marie Leland is our community education director. They're kind of the folks that are in charge of this and organizing it. We're actually going to present at our spring Minnesota Association of School Administrators Conference and show this off to the entire state.
And you're getting an award, or have received the award.
I have. It was a very nice gesture. Got the
Administrator of Excellence.
Yeah, for the Southeast portion, and it's really a special award because it comes from my peers, and I'm pretty proud of it.
You should be. And of course, the young lady who replaced you in Cannon Falls received an award recently. I thought that was kind of ironic.
It is, and Dr. Richardson over in Northfield also received an award. So between the three of us, we've done pretty well down here.
Yeah, our whole area is doing very, very well.
Yeah, it is.
You know, it was very cool to see what the Cannon Falls Bomber dance team did up at the state tournament.
It was. That was a tough one. I was up there, and our activities director, Ken Hubert, was up there, and we, fortunately or unfortunately, I guess I'm glad I was there to do it, but what could you do, I guess? But we witnessed probably, I would say, one of the saddest things I've ever seen in Minnesota State High School athletics. It was very, very tough to watch.
Yeah, well, we're going to touch on that in the next segment. I'm sure you've spoken with your peers at those schools.
Well, actually, I wish I could say I have.
Oh, okay, you haven't.
I've received an apology, but it's only come from one school, and I'm putting my faith in that they're doing a good job. They're quality people. It's a quality school system, and I'm hoping that they're doing the right things.
Yeah. Can you tell us which school it was?
Yeah, Eden Prairie.
That you got the apology?
Yeah, and I've known the Eden Prairie since Luther College.
Oh, okay. Wow, back in your college days.
Back in the day.
Cool. Yeah, Luther Norse.
Yep.
We're going to visit more with Todd Sesker. He's the superintendent of the Faribault Public Schools, but right now we're going to get our opening market report. A service of your KDHL Agri Boosters, including Richland Repair, 3.5 miles off Gates Avenue in Faribault, a farmer's best friend. Because everything's up in the markets. KDHL Agri Boosters bring you our opening market report each and every day. Ag Power Enterprises, your John Deere dealer, locations in Owatonna, Hollandale. They're in Osage, Northwood, Iowa, and of course over in Belle Plaine. I already told you about Richland Repair. Offer precision planting products like the 2020 monitor and control systems. Richland Repair, your 360 Yield Center dealer. You can find out more at richlandrepair.com. richlandrepair.com. Again, Richland Repair is a farmer's best friend. Todd Sesker is the superintendent of the Faribault Public Schools. Of course, all of you know by now, unless you were living on another planet, about what happened last weekend at the state dance team competition. The Faribault Falcons are the AAA champions in high kick. How cool is that, Superintendent Sesker?
It is pretty cool. Anytime you have a state championship team, it really lifts everybody else's. 10 students. Don't quote me on that, but It was not very many. Yeah, it was pretty close to be.
So to make state in 5A in football, I thought was a whale of an accomplishment.
It was. Our programs are steadily improving. We've got some good talent out there and some terrific coaches that we're really, really proud of. And, of course, that weight room facility, that new fitness area is going to help, and it's already showing some dividends.
Allie Miller, Coach of the Year in the Big Nine, and they were not even close to winning the Big Nine. I don't know if I've seen that before.
I haven't either. That's pretty cool, though, isn't it? I do want to say, just before I forget, I need to really make a public congratulations to Cannon Falls and their dance team.
Sure.
They came over last night, and Bob Brittenell knows the board chair over there, and Beth Geese is the superintendent, and Jake Winchell's the athletic director, and their girls and the coaches to show that type of sportsmanship is really what this is all about. And we need to get back to that. I know competition's important, and success in the win-loss column is important too. But the bottom line. State high school league, especially at the high school level, should be about sportsmanship. I wish they'd give a state championship trophy for sportsmanship, and that would be the last thing, the grand finale that they give, rather than having just the plain state champion competition piece.
Have you suggested that to the high school?
We haven't. Actually, I was talking to Beth Geese this morning, and she mentioned it, and I think it's a great idea to start some sort of pay it forward. Because Cannon Falls had some tough going with their dance team.
Yeah, last summer, you're right.
They did, and now we've had this happen to us, and we now realize, like it or not, how important sportsmanship really is and how it affects kids. And if we can pay that forward and make that ripple effect throughout the entire state of Minnesota, then that would be terrific.
Did everybody in the Xcel Energy Center, or the Target Center, did everybody in the Target Center know what was going on at the time?
Well, we have some suspicion. We don't know because the investigation is still going on. We're between the prelims and the finals.
Did they announce this? I mean, at the Target Center.
What? Announce the...
Well, what was happening? Because Faribault was on one end of the floor and the rest of the teams were on the other end.
No, this was all premeditated, and Faribault was left out of the loop. The State High School League officials had absolutely no idea. The announcer had no idea that this was going on.
Okay.
So, in fact, when our girls moved over with the 5 other teams, and I saw the 5 girls holding hands in the front, and they wouldn't hold hands with our girls, then things started to click. I'm not real quick, but it started to make sense now. And then that kind of a celebration mentality turned into, what's going on here? And then it got to be ugly after that.
But, you said, I guess I don't understand why the protest was even waged, because there'd been an investigation. There'd been a complaint. Mm-hmm. And rightfully so, the high school league investigated the complaint and cleared Faribault of any kind of wrongdoing.
That's correct. And so that's where it gets to be confusing for us. And the state high school made a ruling. We abided by that ruling, just like we're supposed to, just like any other decision that you make, and whether it's rule or law, you abide by that whole thing. And if you want to protest or if you want to do something different, then change the law or go to avenues that can help correct that. But don't put 13 and 18-year-old kids in the middle of it. That's what's so hard. Coaches can go ahead and do that. They can fight about it. That's fine. But when you start using the kids as pawns, then that's wrong.
And at the site of the competition, to file something in writing or something later, which I still don't understand, because they were cleared. Yeah. Faribault was cleared of this, and all the coaches knew this. They got an email saying, we investigated, Faribault did no wrongdoing.
They did. And we are over that. I think yesterday was a great celebration for us, for our girls. I don't want to take away from some of the other sports, because we've got a terrific gymnast that's going to be competing at the state level tournament. That's terrific. We had a fun girls basketball game last night. We didn't win, but I thought the girls were competitive. We don't want to take away from that either, because that was, the celebration was at halftime. And our student body has just been terrific. And that was done at the Pep Fest at 2:30. And we've just seen all kinds of support flow in as a result of this. So we're on the other end of it now. We really don't have any control over what the high school league does. We hope, of course, and we really have no control over what the other 5 school districts are going to do. Again, and we hope, but we don't really have much say into those processes when it comes down to the bottom line. So we focus on what we can do. And what we can do is we can make sure that these parents and these kids feel good about themselves, their accomplishment. Winning the state championship, I don't care what sport you're in, it is a huge, huge accomplishment. And to win state titles, I believe Lois Krinke's won 12 state titles in the last 24 years, and that's amazing. And I know the practices that they go through and the amount of effort and work these kids put in to make this thing work. This is an athletic contest, and this athletic contest, they show that they were better than the other teams. And that's what it comes down to.
Execution. It's all about executing. You got to have, I think, 64 kicks in your routine. You got to have nice high kicks. You got to be uniform in your kicks. They talk about posture. I mean, I looked at the judges' form. They grade them on a lot of different things.
They do. And it's really, even when my daughter first danced a few years ago, they've come a long ways. And the competition's got better and better and better. And I think the judges have gotten better and better and better as a result. So I'm just very proud of our girls, very proud of our programs and all of our athletic programs and coaches, but especially at this point, our girls who went through that whole disaster last Saturday. And like I said, yesterday was a good day. And when Cannon Falls showed up at the game, at the girls' game last night, that was kind of icing on the cake.
Now, how did this all come about, the pep rally and everything? Did you guys say right after that happened, we got to do something because this is just wrong that the girls don't even get to celebrate at the Target Center because of what was happening?
It is. Ken and I got together. Ken was up till 1:30 in the morning on Sunday morning, and I was up probably till 2 in the morning on Sunday morning, and then I came back to Faribault Sunday morning, and Ken was already here working, and we called each other and tried to come up with some sort of strategy of how we can address these things, because we had extremely unhappy parents and kids.
And rightfully so.
Yeah, and at the same time, all the news stations started calling us, all the TV stations, so we're trying to fit this in. But our strategy was worked with the parents and listened to their concerns. We had our banquet Sunday night, which went well. We backed it up 45 minutes before the actual banquet started so that parents had a chance to talk about it, yell at Ken and I, which is fine, tears and joy of the celebration at the same time, which is hard to imagine, but it's like I said, it's something I've never seen before in my life. So I thought that went very well. And then from the banquet, we talked to the parents. They made a couple of suggestions for us, and we thought they were great ideas. So we decided to do the Pep Fest and then reenact the state tournament because we missed it. Even though it happened, we really missed the awards for our girls. And so we reconstructed that whole piece. We had Rod Johnson from Cannon Falls come down. He did a terrific job. He's as you know, the voice of the Timberwolves. And
former KDHL farm director.
Yep, he's terrific. And then we had a nice celebration. Then after that, the girls were celebrated by the school board. That was taped, so that'll be on TV. And the school board, our board chair, Jason Ingbrecht, did a terrific job, as well as the other board members making some good comments. And then finally, our halftime recognition by the boosters, the athletic boosters, put this on in a short amount of time, I might add, and did a great job.
Did they perform?
They did not perform.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah, they did show at the Pep Fest. They showed their last performance on the big screen. But it's pretty tough when you're finished with the season, especially after what you've gone through, to come back and do something like that.
Well, I thought if you had the Cannon Falls dancers, it would have been cool to do something together.
It would have been cool. When they got there, I walked into the game because I had a board meeting, and when I walked in, it was pretty cool to see the dancers from Cannon and the dancers from Faribault kind of all in arm in arm, and the parents of the Faribault kids were taking pictures and photographs of these girls together, and it was really a true moment, a positive moment in true sportsmanship and what the State High School League sports are all about.
Yeah. You should note that the Bomber dance team was competing at state in 2A.
They were, and they finished in the top 6. I'm not sure what place. I know they didn't get the top 3, but I know they finished in the top 6, so kudos to them.
Yep. And some other area schools, I'm sure, were involved, too. I can't remember off the top of my head now.
Yeah, I don't either. It was a tough weekend.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure the High School League will come up with some suggestions on how to make it better.
Yep. Yeah, I think they will, too. I think they'll review this and come up with ideas. The hard part is defining those rules and where they're going to go with those things.
Well, my thought was, if you don't want anybody copying another routine, you send everybody a tape of a routine.
And they all perform it.
They all perform it. Yeah. And whoever performs it best
wins
the competition. And then you don't have to worry about anybody stealing anything.
Yeah, it's hard. You know, Ned Lewis is a great coach that we have, and I haven't talked to Ned, but I bet he didn't invent the wing tee offense.
No.
So, I mean, we've been copying different
things. I know he
all over the
didn't.
place. And not to say that we copied, but we've been using what they have and running with the particular athletes that we have that make it good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Lois had mentioned the other day there was this move called the worm that was started a few years ago. Now virtually every routine has it. I mean,
I've seen it on MTV a few times too. Yeah, so who's copied who?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
It's part of the. I mean, you've watched more Dance Line than I have, I think.
Right.
Because you had a daughter in it, right?
Yes. Yep. For 7 years. Yep. A lot of Saturdays. A lot of fun Saturdays. So, yeah, it's a great sport, and
it's high energy. That's what I love about it.
It is, and they work so hard. I'm optimistic that this will draw positive attention to the sport too, and make this a good learning experience for all the kids in the state of Minnesota. And hopefully they'll move forward, and we can all get along together. And I don't want our teams to be enemies of the other 5. It's going to be uncomfortable for us to be coming to those places again to dance next year, and hopefully time will heal itself, but we've got to find a way where our girls and our coaches and our staff can come together and celebrate good sportsmanship and not ever do what happened at the Target Center again.
What I had heard is this was kind of brewing, that the dance coaches, they have association or something, is a little upset with the high school league because they think, they bring in, I didn't realize it, they bring in more money than basketball and hockey.
Yeah, and I don't know anything about that, but that could be true.
To the high school league. So they were a little upset about that.
Yeah, and I really have been out of the loop with all the schools with regard to the investigation. I probably shouldn't be in the loop anyways with those investigations. But I do hope that the right decisions come down for each of those schools. I hope they don't hurt the kids. That's the part that is hard for people to. I know the kids were involved in it, but we know darn well that the kids really are kids still, and the power players should be the ones that deserve the whatever discipline ends up happening.
I think of the second and third place teams in 3A who didn't get a trophy, they didn't get medals.
Right.
They won't for the rest of their life. And they may never have another shot, especially the seniors won't have another shot at doing that.
Yep. And I think when I can't predict, but I know, I'm going to talk about our kids. I know when our kids reflect in a few years, they're going to look back at this. They've won the state champions, so they're going to always be able to say that they were the state champions. And the controversy will get, certainly hope we've asked them to make it a learning experience for them, and also to remember to be good sports in the future. So hopefully they're taking this experience and making it a positive for them when they grow up in their adult lives.
Right. Have empathy.
Yep.
You've been in that situation, so don't put any other team in that situation.
Exactly. Yep. When you go by a player or a dancer that you're competing against, instead of saying something negative, maybe say good job and congratulations, even if you are competing for first or second place. You should always, always, always pick the kid up or say something positive to whatever sort of contest you're in.
Yeah, should be celebratory. That's what the state tournament should be all about.
Yeah, we're on it together.
Getting back into some of the issues dealing with the Faribault Public Schools, I saw this bid on the, this was for cabling for wireless access points, data switches, and installation services, I assume district-wide.
That's correct.
One of the bids, and I won't mention the companies, but one of the bids was for $786,000 and $786,005 even. The other was for $366,704.72 for the same job.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
Didn't that kind of boggle your mind when you saw that?
It did. And, you know, we don't usually get that quite of a spread for a bid, but a lot of times if companies do bid and they're already booked and they really don't have a job for us, they'll just throw a bid in there. And I think that's just what happened. We looked at it, and the actual low bid is a reliable company, and they were pretty much on target with industry standards. So, yeah, I don't know. I didn't call the other bidder to see. I just assumed that.
I've always been very curious too about this. 72 cents. You can't.
Right.
You can't go 366,705
and make it even. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That's the private sector, I guess.
No,
right?
I know, but you just got to scratch your head at some of this. 72 cents is on the end of this bid, and this will make you Wi-Fi in every building district-wide. That's one of the things that it does. What else does it do?
Well, we already are Wi-Fi, but it just enhances us so that we don't have any of those spots where you lose reception. Nothing more frustrating when you're on the computer than it just drops your internet. So we're going to try to make it so that all the spots are covered. The other thing is we have 1997 cabling and switches and old hardware materials that we really need to upgrade. So it was a bid for some new stuff that we're going to be doing, but at the same time, it's a maintenance bid, and so it's going to help us in the long run save money and save costs.
So this was not part of that referendum.
No,
a couple
this
years
is not.
Back, the technology upgrade.
Correct. This is not part of that. This is separate. This is part of our budget. Right now it looks like we're over, but the only reason why we're over is we haven't gotten the refund from our E-rate. E-rate is a federal dollar that all schools apply for E-rate, and then you get E-rate, and then they get a certain dollar amount back for their expenditures. So that's not including in this bid. We're just doing worst case scenario. Last year we got 77% for some of those categories. This is category 2, so we'll get a little bit less, but I'm anticipating we're going to get some money back to reimburse the fund balance.
And how are we doing on the iPads, whatever you decide, Chromebooks?
Yep, we are doing really well. We are actually, stay tuned, because next month we're going to make a proposal to the board to start this out. So our technology team has done a terrific job of researching, making sure that these are enhancing curriculum and not replacing curriculum. We've got 2 integration specialists that we hired this year that have just been a bang-up job with all the teachers and staff and helping them integrate. And we've got some programs this summer to help train staff. One of the big reasons why some of the one-to-one programs are under scrutiny is because we don't offer the training. And we told our staff we're going to give you a year of training before we implement that, and that's what we've done. And I think we've done a good job with it.
Other districts haven't done that, you're saying?
I'm saying some of the districts just put the one-to-one training and then told teachers, go get it. There's some training during the school year, but we wanted to make sure our teachers and our staff were prepared before we actually implemented it.
And did you make a choice on the device yet?
We did. We're going to go with iPads, and the iPads were pretty much universal throughout the whole school with teachers and other staff members and kids. And even when we surveyed parents, that was kind of the machine of choice.
So you give these to the students.
Yes.
They get to keep them. Do they turn them in at the end of the year?
Yes. Yep. And in fact, we've arranged it depending on the grade level. Some will be able to take it home, some won't. So it's probably a 4 or 5 page policy that we're working on with folks, and it's not new. We have done a lot of good research with what other schools have found successful, so you're not paying for broken iPads and stolen iPads and things like that. So I think we've got a pretty good policy in place ready to go and implement for next year to cover all those different issues.
A lot of districts are doing it now.
They are, and especially in Minnetonka, they're seeing some really positive results, and that's kind of the model that we're looking at. We've gone to quite a few of those different seminars with our staff.
Well, I will say, just reflecting back on the dance team controversy, that Faribault can be very proud of these young women who held their heads high and acted with a lot of class up at the state tournament. From everything I hear, I wasn't there, of course, but I have heard from a lot of people who were there who said exactly what you said about, the demonstration, but the fact that Faribault held their head high and did a super job.
Yeah, we're very, like I said, very proud of our coaches and our girls, and just makes it just another reason to be proud to be from this community and in these two schools.
Yep, Faribault Bethlehem Academy is part of the Faribault Emeralds dance line. We shouldn't lose sight of that either.
Yep.
Fantastic. Anything else before I let you go here, Todd?
No, we're hoping that we're
Things calm down a bit.
Things calm down a little bit, and we can move forward. And I just want to let the public know I appreciate all the support that I've received, and I know Ken Hubert's received a ton of support too through this whole process. So we're going to move ahead.
Yeah, well, that's the only thing you can do.
Yep.
It's another life lesson.
It is.
You're going to have your bad days. You're going to have your good days.
Yep, and hopefully the good days are coming.
Try to be even keel and
do the right thing.
Do the right thing. Absolutely. So we appreciate Todd Sesker coming in. Your next board meeting is?
Well, we have a work session in March that we're going to be proposing some budget ideas, and that would be a great thing to talk about at our March when we visit in March about budget for next year and some of the things we're looking at adding, some cool programs that we're thinking about doing.
Nice not to have to cut, huh?
It is so nice not to have to cut. I've been cutting for a long time, and it is nice to have a nice, stable fund balance and a nice, stable population coming in. So, yeah, things are, knock on wood, things are going well for Faribault Public Schools.
I did look at the enrollment figures. They're pretty steady.
They are. We're actually up from our projections about 80 kids. So when we project, and we base that with staff and finance and everything else. So we actually have, in my mind, 85 students more than we anticipated.
I don't know how you project that, to be honest. That concludes today's edition of AM Minnesota on KDHLAM in